Thank you so much, Nicole Myers with Back on My Feet, for joining us today. Welcome to another episode of Supporting Your Community. So today I have Nicole. So Nicole, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with Back on My Feet and kind of your current role now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking time today to do this, and thank you for supporting the local community. So I am Director of Development for Back on My Feet, which is a national nonprofit operating in 13 cities across the country that utilizes the power of running and community support to combat homelessness. Um, in a really remarkable way, we are creating a circle of hope around individuals that may, at this time in their lives, consider themselves hopeless, and showing them that there is remarkable power within. And by providing them with community, by providing them with support, and helping to really create a plan back to the workforce, we're showing them that a healthy life with independent housing and job stability is out there for them. I have been running since 2007. I am definitely a run walker. And I found this organization actually as a volunteer. I had been attending a community event. They had a fundraiser and I'd been invited to attend. And I went and was incredibly compelled by the work that they were doing. Because in my own life, I know what crossing a finish line can do for my self-esteem. You know, when you're crossing the finish line of a 5K, you're like, man, I did that. And I did that this morning before the entire world got going. And you really feel like you can take on your day. So when they started talking about this connection to employment, to recovery, to better mental health, yes, this makes perfect sense.
Awesome. So we're all dealing with the global pandemic that is COVID-19. So tell us, since your organization is so community driven and community centered and people centric, how has your organization shifted since the shelter in place, specifically here in the metro Atlanta area? What has that looked like?
No, that's actually a fantastic question. So here at Back on My Feet Atlanta, we work with 4 partner shelter facilities. And these facilities house individuals that are considered homeless and in addiction recovery. So they are an incredibly vulnerable population, potentially have a high level of underlying health issues that, because of lack of access to health care, they do not know that they exist. They are individuals that, because of homelessness, potentially very recent, have not had access to good nutrition, all of the things I think that so often we take for granted in our lives. They also, our population that we serve, while we serve a wide range of individuals from age 20 up to even age 70 now, a large portion of our population is above age 40 and therefore more vulnerable to COVID-19. Also, because they are living in communal environments and very close quarters, these facilities are working so hard to make sure that the spread of COVID-19 does not happen there.
Right.
So in terms of how we as an organization are responding really in this vulnerable time, we're not able to run together, but we've been circling up virtually. We're so fortunate that our shelter partners still work with us to make sure that our members can connect just like we're doing today. And actually this morning at 6 a.m., I was on a call, on a video chat with one of our the residents that are in one of our shelter facilities with our volunteers, talking about what are we going to do to make today great? How are we still staying healthy and active? We've been doing group exercise through Facebook Live. Like, we're doing all of the things to try to reach our members in this time to still keep that deeply linked community possible. But I think one of the greatest ways that we have pivoted to support our community in this time, and really not even so much a pivot, but just an expansion of the work that we were doing previously, is helping to link and support our individuals who have been impacted by layoffs in this time, our alumni particularly. The hospitality and service industry is very welcoming to the members of Back on My Feet, and are often willing to look beyond background circumstances to
Right.
give them another shot at employment. And unfortunately, our hotel groups, our restaurants that have been so willingly to come beside us and be partners, they are hurting the most in this time. And so we found many of our members were furloughed, they were laid off, as well as our alumni. And our remarkable program team has been working fast and quickly to set up calls with those individuals, set up video conferencing, coaching sessions, so that they can help them prepare in this time. Is this now a time to potentially get a new certification? How can they refine their resume in this time? Are they accessing all of the resources as well that are available to them to stabilize, to make sure that they stay on a healthy path, and hopefully do not relapse if they are in a recovery situation?
Yeah, I think a lot of corporations have done the same thing. They've kind of stepped back to get a better understanding of resources. And I'm sure in the nonprofit sector, being able to take advantage of this time, members can look and say, okay, how can I adapt and change for the better? Are there more certifications that I can get since I'm not working full time? So I think that's great that Back on My Feet offers those resources to its members and alumni, so that in situations like this, they have a place to fall back on that can give them the resources to do that. So that is absolutely amazing for all the members and alumni.
Yeah. And, I think really the remarkable thing that also is happening is that because companies know about us in the community, they're reaching out and saying, hey, we actually are ramping up our workforce in this time. There are some organizations that, due to the nature of being frontline, due to the nature of providing essential services, they need the skills and the skill set of our members to. So we've been really fortunate that, yes, we've had layoffs, we have members that are experiencing that. We also have members just yesterday that started a new job.
That's
And
amazing.
so proud of them and for kind of seizing the moment, but also really proud of the companies that we're able to work with in this time and do so safely. That's also a major concern of our members.
So as we're looking towards the light at the end of the tunnel, we're looking towards a soft opening from our state here in Georgia on Friday. What's something that you're looking forward to, either within the Back on My Feet organization or just personally, that now that we can gather together, what's something that you just can't wait to do?
Yeah. As an organization, nationally, we have taken the stance, because we are working with a particularly vulnerable population, that we will not resume in-person runs until May 31st. So I have to say, it's hard on my heart that that's happening. But the one thing I absolutely cannot look forward to enough, I just so excited about it, is being able to see our members in person and our alumni in person and our volunteers. Our community is really remarkable in the deep connections that we build and the friendships and the family that we've created. And getting to see everyone on the Zoom calls in this time has certainly been a gift, but it has not been the same as actually getting to be in a space and know that someone is okay and that they are well. And so I look forward to that. And honestly, I look forward to another 5K in person. The virtual races have been fantastic, but I'm really excited to get out and run side by side with my teammates again.
Yeah, and for those that aren't aware and don't really understand, when we talk about circle ups,
Yeah.
So as a volunteer, you show up at one of the 3 sites in Metro Atlanta, and we physically circle up as a whole and we greet everyone with a hug. So there is that contact and connection. And we start with the serenity prayer and kind of a question of the day to get members and volunteers on the same kind of playing field to have a conversation either during the run or after the run. So there is a lot of contact that I can understand from a national level, having to take a step back and saying, we really do need to take the extra time to just wait and see what the outcome is, and before we get back together, because it is such a connecting environment with people, and you just don't know where they're coming from or who they've been in contact with. So I just wanted to give that little tidbit for those of you that are watching that are wondering. There is, physical hugs and connections with our members and our volunteers. So thinking of a positive mindset and what that looks like, what's one thing that you are doing on a daily basis to really help with a positive mindset right now?
So I believe deeply in the power of affirmations, and I have continued that practice through this time. I mean, it was definitely a practice I was doing before,
Right.
but I have noticed that on days as we've been quarantined, that if I don't do those affirmations, it 100% impacts me. And I realize in the middle of the day, I'll say, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? And then I'll think, oh, I didn't do my affirmations. I also have been working really hard on spending 10 minutes a day in meditation and just in silence. There is so much information coming at all of us right now.
Right.
There is so much unknown, and our brains are working really, really hard to process that. And it can be really overwhelming, and the anxiety can creep up. And so I have found that on those days that I can either begin my day or end my day in some silence and just listening, and really trying to listen to my own personal knowing, my heart. I feel more calm, and I feel more hopeful in that time.
That's amazing. Yeah, we're hearing more and more meditation, self-centered companies like Headspace and other meditation companies are offering free app services right now so that everyone can plug into that to really kind of take a moment and take a deep breath and shut out the noise
Yeah.
and just focus. So definitely hearing that across all platforms, that meditation is just so huge right now.
Yeah, especially when I think in some ways in this time, I have been way more digitally connected than I ever was before.
Right.
You know, and while that has been a gift, I mean, what a tremendous blessing to be able to continue to do the work of our organization, and that would not have been possible without all of this technology. But certainly by the time you get to the end of the day, you realize you haven't had a commute in Atlanta, right?
Right.
Like and that time in your car can often be time when you're decompressing. I know for me, that's what it is. I turn on music and
Right.
I crank it loud and I sing, and I realized, oh my gosh, that time has gone away from me. And so that meditative space definitely brings some of that restoration back and some of that. But I think if this goes on much longer, you might find me in my driveway with my windows down, blaring music and singing.
Well, I think we've seen a lot of people get in their cars
Yeah.
on social media, drive around the neighborhood, and they call it a therapy session. And it's just to do whatever makes them, happy. And for you, that's, blaring music with the windows down. So I
Yeah.
totally understand that.
Totally.
So obviously to help support Back on My Feet, specifically here in Atlanta and the Atlanta chapter, tell us that are watching this right now, what's one ask that you have that can help your organization either immediately or long term? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So immediately, I would be very remiss and not a good development director if I didn't say that, quite honestly, the greatest impact you can have is a gift to our organization in this time. In this last month and a half, we've seen many of our asks to our traditional corporate partners go on hold. And that revenue, that those contributions to our organization are vital dollars that help our members remove barriers back to the workforce. They will help them obtain driver's licenses, those trainings that we talked about, those certifications. Those dollars are absolutely critical to the success and the long-term independent individuals working so hard to get out of homelessness and addiction. Truly a gift. No gift is too small. No gift is too large in this time. It is truly impactful. And that can be made through backonmyfeet.org. And you actually are able to select the Atlanta chapter as the chapter you'd like to support, or you could choose a chapter in a city that's also near and dear to your heart. In terms of coming up actually in the short term, if you're watching this video before May 1st, we have a virtual circle up. Typically in the spring, we have gathered for a big fundraising breakfast, but given social distancing, we're going virtual. And I'm honestly really excited about this event. So you can hop on backonmyfeet.org, check out our events, and you'll see the Atlanta Virtual Circle Up on May 1st at 8:30 in the morning. Grab a ticket. We're inviting you to wear your finest sweatpants attire and bring your own coffee and, come and join us. And I promise you, this is my guarantee, is that it's going to be a morning of hope. You're going to get to hear stories from our members that are going the distance, even in this really remarkable time. And it's a difficult time, but they're making great things happen. And then for the long term, if so many people in this time, because we haven't been able to go to gyms, we haven't been able to go to our fitness studios. If you have found that in this time you have a love for getting out and getting a walk or getting a run in, and you're missing people, come check out Being a Volunteer with us. This is a community that certainly will never judge your pace, because your pace is the pace of one of our members who maybe has never participated in a group run before or a walk. And we have, as I said earlier, we have members that range from age 20 up to 70. And so whether you are a wonderful walker or you're a marathoner, there is a place for you in our group. And you can also sign up to learn more about being a volunteer at backonmyfeet.org.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just to get a little bit more about who Nicole is, I have some rapid fire questions.
Oh, goodness.
So first thing that pops to your mind, like no pressure.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Maybe. Yeah, no, I am. Okay.
Okay. Favorite beverage?
Oh, LaCroix. Can I, this is my pitch. I have
Absolutely.
It.
Okay. What is your go-to song that gets you totally pumped up and motivated?
Oh my goodness. I would have to say Outcast. B.O.B.
Anything. Okay, got it.
Yeah, really any Outcast, but definitely that, right? Like I get pumped.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. I'm from Atlanta.
What is a perfect day?
To our friends that work for Pepsi.
What does a perfect day look like for you?
I would start out with a run with Back on My Feet. And I have to say it would be a Saturday, because we circle up just a little bit later on Saturday mornings. So a run with my Back on My Feet team Saturday morning, maybe coffee after that. And then after I shower up, I'm a big fan of all the art that our city has to offer. And I find a lot of comfort in wandering through the High Museum. So if I could go wander the High on a Saturday afternoon after having a run with my team in the morning, that would probably be the perfect day.
Perfect day. Okay. Dog or cat?
Cat. All the way. I have two. They're my fur children.
Friends or Seinfeld?
Friends.
Okay. Favorite all-time movie?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay. Biggest life influencer?
Oh, biggest life influence. That's a really good question. I would say my biggest life influencer, good and bad, is probably my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sunrise or sunset?
Can I say both equally? Right? Just I really, there's something really hopeful about sunrise, and it's peaceful. And because of the work that I do and running with our Back on My Feet teams, I actually get the chance to experience sunrise in Atlanta often. And it is a gift. It's like before the city wakes up, there's so much hope and you feel things start to come alive. And so I'll go with sunrise.
Okay. And then last but not least, guac or queso?
Guac.
Okay.
I do love queso, but I have to say, like, if I were really forced to choose, it'd be guac.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. So from my family to yours, I hope you stay safe and healthy, and hopefully we'll be rounding the corners here shortly and be back together for a group run. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being with us today. And everyone can follow Back on My Feet and all the social tags you'll see at the end of this video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.